In today's web chat, we're going to be talking about money. And if you're programming just for the money, then you are doing it wrong, in my opinion. Hello, my name is Peter Fisher. I'm a freelance web and mobile applications developer. On the Tuesdays, we do a tutorial. So I teach programming, I teach web development, I teach Docker and Linux and all of that kind of stuff as well. And on the Friday show, we do a discussion like this, where I talk about freelance, I talk about career advice, I talk about other bits and pieces that matter to me in web development. Now, today I went to attempt to sell my car or get it valued to see what was available, and also to have a look at the other cars that I could possibly purchase. So I went there and I had a little chat with the guy who was selling and checking cars over, and the discussion kind of went a little bit like this. So he said, "Oh, so what is it that you do?" And I said, "Well, I build mobile apps and I build web systems." And then he said, "Oh, fantastic! So you've obviously done a computer science degree." So he kind of knew a little bit about programming. So I kind of delved a little bit deeper. I said, "No, well, actually, I did an e-commerce and multimedia degree here at Gloucester." He then started name-dropping programming languages, which made me think perhaps he knows a little bit more than he's letting on. So he said, "Oh, so are you building things in Java? Are you building things in Python and other languages?" I said, "Well, no, actually, I'm doing PHP, and when I build mobile applications, I use JavaScript, and I cross-compile those down into their native devices, so Xcode and Android." And the conversation got going. Then he asked me this question. He said, "Well, how long have you been doing this for?" And I said, "Well, this has been what I've been doing for well over a decade." And then he said, "Oh, so you must be a millionaire by now." Now, he said that in an extremely serious way, which kind of made me feel like he wasn't a programmer, because obviously if he was a programmer and he was making that amount of money, then he wouldn't be trying to sell me cars. So basically, I was dealing with someone on the outside of the industry, and their expectation of someone who was a programmer who had been a programmer for that long, building mobile apps, building web systems, was obviously a millionaire. That's just simply not the case. Perhaps he was more interested in getting into the industry in order to make that kind of money. But in my opinion, that is the wrong reason to get into the industry. And I'm not going to take away the fact that you can actually make an awful lot of money being a programmer. You can build a system and then you can sell things off of that system. You can work for the government. You can work on highly paid projects. You can become a contractor and all of that kind of stuff. But you can't just do that instantly, right? You need to learn how to do that. And some people just don't have the entrepreneurial mindset to make money from whatever it is that they're doing. So instead of working for someone else, building a system for someone else in perhaps a big company, they actually build something for themselves and start selling products off of that system that they're producing. Maybe it's a subscription service or something like that. So yes, you can make an awful lot of money, but not everyone is an entrepreneur. Not everyone has the mindset and the business acronym to make money from programming. That's perfectly fine. That is perfectly fine. I remember when I was sat down with my dad, looking through the UCAS book, trying to discover where I'm going to go after school. So we were going basically through this big brochure, this big catalogue of college courses, of university courses, and so forth. We finally settled on IT systems. It was actually called ICT, Information Communication Technology. Because one of the reasons was that there is a lot of money to be made in IT. However, for me, that wasn't the only reason why I wanted to be in IT. And in fact, that course was extremely broad. That was one of the things that I really liked about that course, was it enabled me to narrow down my field of view when it came to what in IT I actually cared about. It also meant that I could challenge myself. And this is kind of the things that I was really interested in. I was interested in solving puzzles. I was interested in challenging myself. I was interested in taking on tasks that I knew that I couldn't do until I actually learned how to do those things. Basically, I didn't want to have an easy ride. I wanted to come away from that college course knowing that I've learned something and learnt a skill, a discipline. I also like teaching people. I also am very passionate at showing people how to do things, right? And that's the whole reason why I have this YouTube channel, because I like doing the tutorials. I like having the discussion around those tutorials, and I like helping to solve other people's problems and build applications and systems for those people. So the money for me was actually one of the lowest priorities. Being a freelancer now, it's moved up, obviously, because I am now a businessman. I am, you could call, an entrepreneur, because there are systems that I am building in the future that may have subscription services and so forth around those things. I mean, I do have my Skillshare courses. I do have my Udemy courses. They are paid for, but they took me ages and ages and ages to produce and to make. Same with this YouTube channel. However, I don't make a lot of money at all with this YouTube channel. I don't make enough money to actually sustain this YouTube channel, and I am aware, I'm quite aware that the hours, the days, the months that I spend on this channel is time away from my wife, time away from my family, time away from my friends. And if you think about this for just a minute, I am providing a way to help people learn. I'm providing a way to create a community, a discussion around programming. And we're talking amongst ourselves, but we're not actually seeing each other. There isn't any kind of visual communication apart from myself. So I'm actually communicating with people that I don't actually necessarily know, far more than the people that I do know in my own life, which is kind of weird. And of course, I have the Discord server, which means that I can talk to the audience more directly. They can provide me some code that I can review and others can review and so forth. I really like doing that, but like I said, it isn't providing a wage. It isn't providing any kind of thing that can justify me doing it in terms of a monetary way. But I like teaching. I like talking to people. I like the whole community around programming. That is something that I really like, and therefore I do. So that is my priority. It's not the money. The problem with just using money as a driver for programming to getting into this industry is that it kind of taints your opinions, your priorities with clients. Now, I am aware that there are cowboys in this industry. They will build something substandard. They'll charge the client a huge amount of money, knowing that the system has flaws in it, knowing that they've put those flaws in it or they've cut those corners, because the client will eventually come back to them and they'll be able to charge them even more. They don't care about their learning progression. They don't care about improving themselves. They just care about how much money is coming in. So if you're trying to get into this industry, or if you want to become a freelancer, then my advice is to list down at least 6 things that define why you want to do that. Why do you want to get into this industry? Why do you want to become a freelancer? And if money is right at the top of that list, then in my opinion, you need to reevaluate all of those things on that list. The thing is, with money, if that is the only driving force, or if that is the biggest driving force for you, then that taints the whole process. That changes the way you think about development. You start thinking about how much money you can make, how much you can squeeze out of the client, how much stuff can you write and then know that it's going to have to be improved later on? And that is a dangerous place to be, in my opinion, when learning how to program, because you no longer care so much about your own development, your own learning, your own knowledge base, because you're only looking out for making a quick buck. And in my opinion, with programming, that isn't the best thing to do. You want to be true to yourself. You want to know why it is that you want to do these things, why it is that you're getting into this industry. And if those things that you put on your list appeal to your personality, to your learning style, then go for it. Go for it. But try not to let money taint that. And, let's be honest here. It takes an awful long time to get from knowing zero in programming to actually making money in programming. An awful long time. So, it's not a quick win. It's not like you're going to make lots of money straight away. Now, I don't know whether that car salesman was a programmer or whether he was looking to get into the programming industry. If he was looking to get into the industry, though, I would hope that the money wouldn't be high on his agenda, although it seemed like it was. Although you have to take it into context, because we were talking about money, because we were talking about cars. There was a money kind of atmosphere, if you will. He was a car salesman. I was trying to Part X my car. So, money was on the lips. But anyway, if you found this video helpful, if you found it interesting, do give it a thumbs up, show your appreciation. If you haven't done so already, do join me on Discord. I'll put links to all of these below and in the cards at the end of the video. Thanks ever so much for watching. Happy coding, everyone. Thanks again, and I'll see you again soon. Cheers. Bye.